At this time, I will call on Mr. Royer to discuss the Billboard lease.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Came to you all back in October regarding the lease of Billboard space that currently sits on Harnett Regional Water land right at North Main Street here in Lillington. Per statute, that requires a 30-day notice to be put in the paper to allow for a public hearing on any lease of government property. After posting that in the paper, the 30 days expired. Next regular meeting is today. So I'm asking that we open up the floor for a public hearing on the matter, and then I could return to discuss any questions that the board may have, if that's agreeable, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, at this time, I will open the public hearing concerning the county's lease of the described property to Interstate Outdoor Incorporated for a term of 10 years. This lease will, Interstate Outdoor will pay rent at the rate of $2,000 per year for years 1 through 5, and $2,200 per year for years 6 through 10. Anyone interested in speaking for or against this lease, please step forward, state your name and your address.
I wasn't planning on speaking. My name is Rebecca Fuller, 230 Morgan Farm Drive. Do you know what the current market for a billboard in our county is? If you were to shop it out with a private investor, it is $700 to $900 a month. Why are we giving this lease to this company for $2,000 a year? That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Royster, would you like to address that?
I have Mr. Eddington here from Interstate Outdoor.
With Interstate.
Okay, fantastic. I'd like to step over and go with that.
Hi, my name is Warren Stansel with Interstate Outdoor. We own probably about 50 billboards in Harnett County. I can tell you that I'm not getting anywhere close to $700 to $900 a month for any billboard I have in Harnett County. What we propose is based on the revenue that we get from the sign. We've owned the sign for approximately 15 years, of which Bojangles and Cape Fear Hospital have been on it for. Bojangles has been on it since we bought it for 15 years, and then the hospital's been on it for about 4 or 5 years. And I mean, we get the same thing from them. We don't really go up on them. We are proposing an increase from what we're currently paying, and then an increase in 5 years. Any questions, concerns, and happy to answer.
Anyone have any questions this time? Thank you. Anyone else care to speak? Please come forward.
My name is Margaret Morton, 86 Gwendolyn Way. So I have a question. How big is this billboard going to be?
So it's currently there. It's just renewing a lease on existing billboard.
How big is it?
It's 10 foot by 24 foot.
So when we called around to find out how much it would cost to lease one of these boards, it's anywhere between $800 and $1,200 a month.
And I can promise you that we're not getting anywhere close to anything like that. You must have called a company called Lamar, which might be trying to get rates like that, but I've never heard of anybody, any sign in Harnett County anything close to that.
I think you guys need to really find out for sure and call around, because $2,000 a year is pretty low ball. I think we can get more.
I'd like to make a comment. I've done some research on getting billboards, especially down on 87. And the last time I looked into it, it was about $1,200 for 6 months. So that kind of factors out right here, and that comes with one sign change, one laminate, and if I wanted to renew, it actually was going to drop down a little bit more than that.
Well, I guess location is key. So you might still want to shop around just a little bit.
Anyone else?
Good morning. I have just a fundamental question. Is an item like this, let me back up and say, in the spirit of transparency, is an item like this put out for bids, or is this just an automatic renewal? Just a question.
Part of what you have to do is you have to take contracts, vendors, property as you find them. We enter into leases in accordance with state law. State law requires that, if you have property, you're more than welcome to call up, and we get calls every day asking about property that's available. The obligation is to bring that somewhat completed and close to final package to the board, have that authorized for public notice to result in a public hearing such as this if it's over the 1 year mark. So with regards to transparency, this is exactly what's required in state law. Most of my career has been dealing with public transparency, and this is nothing that I would say is out of the ordinary.
Okay, with that in mind, I am on the advisory board for the Robin Page Boys and Girls Club, and we have a billboard as you come over the bridge that is on the right. You've probably seen it. We paid substantially more than $2,000. Is this a year? $2,000 a year? Is that correct? I would ask that you table this until such time as I can discuss this matter with the advisory board. We would certainly like to consider publicizing this, the Robin Page Boys and Girls Club, for this kind of savings. So I would ask that you table this.
I just want to be clear, this is for a ground lease. This is not for renting space on a billboard. The billboard is personal property of Interstate Outdoor. So this is just for the ground that literally the pole sits in, nothing more, and egress and ingress. So this is not for them to advertise on. This is their billboard. If for whatever reason this lease is not approved for the ground on which the billboard sits, current contract gives Interstate the right to remove their billboard, and then we revert back to land with nothing on it. So if there is no lease with Interstate, there is no billboard. I just want to make that clear that this is all this is for the ground lease.
And I'd like to make it clear that I understand that. There's still no reason in the world we can't use this for the benefit of the children and the advertisement of the Robin Page Club. And again, I would ask you to table this and let us pursue this for that purpose. Thank you.
If I could just quickly say, so this sign is under Lillington's ordinance. It's in their city limits, and so this billboard location has to comply with Lillington's ordinance. It is non-conforming, so if it comes down, you cannot put another one back up unless Lillington were to change their ordinance. Also, standard revenue that we pay for ground leases is 15 to 20% of the revenue that we receive on the sign, and that's what we proposed here. So,
What do you charge to advertise on your billboard?
I think we get $400 for one side and $600 for the other side.
Excuse me.
Yes, Commissioner McCoy.
Is this for a year? You get $400 for a year?
It's per month.
Per month?
Yes, ma'am. So also we have to pay utility bills, commissions. We have to pay expenses for the sign. This is guaranteed revenue to the county whether or not the sign is rented.
Thanks, sir. So that works out to about $4,800 to $7,200 annually to advertise on that. Anyone else? Seeing no one move forward, I will close the public hearing and ask the board if they have any further questions or comments of Mr. Royster or the billboard owner. Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman Witherspoon, I'll make a motion that we approve the ground lease for the billboard in question.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you, Mr. Nickel. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.